Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you opened the refrigerator and stared at it, wondering what you were even looking for. As we get older, these moments become more common, and for many adults, even a little frightening. But here's the important part. Not all memory problems mean disease. A huge portion of age-related forgetfulness is normal, and it has clear, well-understood biological causes. So today, we're breaking down the real science behind why memory gets worse as we age, what's normal, what isn't, and what we can actually do to protect the brain. Let's dive in. What exactly is memory, and why does it change? Before we talk about aging, let's make something clear. Memory isn't one thing. It's not a single storage box inside your brain. Memory is a system, a combination of short-term memory, long-term memory, working memory, procedural memory, emotional memory, and the brain's ability to retrieve information. And each of these depends on different brain regions. When we age, these regions don't all decline at the same rate. Some stay strong for decades. Others start to weaken earlier than we expect. So the big question becomes, which parts decline? Why? And can we slow it down? The brain shrinks as we age, but not in a scary way. Starting around age 30, the brain slowly begins to shrink, a process called brain atrophy. This sounds alarming, but it's completely normal. By age 60, most people lose about 0.5% of brain volume per year, especially in the hippocampus, the area responsible for forming new memories. This is why older adults may remember stories from 40 years ago, but forget what someone said this morning. It's not because the memory disappeared. It's because the brain has a harder time converting new experiences into long-term storage. Think of it like this. Your old memories are stored in a big, well-organized library. Your new memories? They're still waiting to be filed, but the librarian is working a little slower now. The brain's communication system slows down. Your brain is basically a giant network of wires, neurons, sending signals using chemicals called neurotransmitters. As we age, neurons shrink, some connections weaken. Neurotransmitter levels decrease, and the speed of electrical signaling slows down. This affects working memory, your ability to hold information temporarily. Examples: trying to follow a conversation in a noisy restaurant, remembering a phone number long enough to dial it, keeping track of steps when following instructions. When older adults say, "I know it, it's just on the tip of my tongue," that's because the retrieval process slows, not because the memory is gone. The information is still there. The brain just takes longer to find it. Blood flow to the brain decreases, but starting in midlife, blood vessels naturally stiffen, reducing blood flow to the brain. Even a small reduction can affect attention, concentration, problem solving, short-term memory. Imagine trying to read a book in dim lighting. The words are still there, but harder to see. That's what reduced blood flow does to memory. Hormones change, especially after age 50. You might not think hormones influence memory, but they absolutely do. In women, after menopause, estrogen levels drop dramatically. Estrogen plays a critical role in forming new memories, maintaining neuron health, protecting the hippocampus. This is why many women experience brain fog during menopause, difficulty concentrating, recalling words, or staying focused. In men, testosterone gradually decreases, and testosterone is partially converted into estrogen inside the brain, meaning low testosterone equals low brain estrogen. This hormonal shift contributes to slower memory processing in older men as well. Sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. Here's a fact that surprises almost everyone. Sleep cleans your brain. During deep sleep, the brain's washing system. The glymphatic system clears out metabolic waste, including proteins linked to cognitive decline. But as we age, deep sleep becomes shorter. Nighttime awakenings increase. The sleep cycle becomes more fragile. This means older adults get less high-quality deep sleep, so the brain has fewer opportunities to clean up. Result? More forgetfulness, decreased focus, slower thinking, daytime fatigue. If you feel more forgetful after a bad night's sleep, that's exactly why. Chronic stress damages memory over time. Stress triggers cortisol, a hormone that's helpful in short bursts, but harmful when it stays high for years. Long-term cortisol exposure can actually shrink the hippocampus, the very center of memory formation. Many older adults experience retirement stress, caregiver stress, financial pressure, loneliness, health anxiety. All of these raise cortisol and worsen memory. Stress doesn't just make you feel overwhelmed. It physically alters the brain. Sensory decline affects memory without you realizing. Many older adults think they have memory problems when the real issue is they didn't hear or see something clearly in the first place. If you don't receive accurate information, your brain can't store it correctly. Examples: mishearing names during conversations, not noticing visual details when reading, missing parts of instructions. It's not forgetfulness. It's incomplete input. Correcting vision or hearing issues often improves memory immediately. The brain uses memory filters more aggressively with age. Young brains try to store almost everything, every detail, every sound, every event. Older brains, they become more selective. They automatically filter out what they see as irrelevant. This makes older adults focus more on the big picture, but forget small details. For example, you might remember the main point of a conversation, but forget when or where it happened. This isn't a decline. It's actually an adaptive efficiency strategy. The brain is choosing quality over quantity. Medications affect memory more than people realize. Nearly 40% of older adults take medications that can impair memory. Common culprits include sleep medications, anxiety medications, antihistamines, painkillers, antidepressants, bladder medications, blood pressure drugs. These can cause brain fog, slower thinking, difficulty concentrating, short-term memory issues. Many older adults think they're developing dementia, when the issue is actually medication side effects. Depression and loneliness mimic memory loss. Depression is not sadness. It's a brain disorder that affects attention, working memory, decision-making, motivation. When older adults withdraw socially or feel isolated, the brain becomes less stimulated and memory declines faster. This is sometimes called pseudo-dementia because it looks like cognitive decline, but the underlying cause is depression, not actual memory damage. The brain loses flexibility over time. A young brain is like a sponge, absorbing new information effortlessly. An older brain is more like a well-organized office, experienced, knowledgeable, but slower to process new paperwork. This happens because synapses, connections, decrease. Neurons grow less adaptable. Plasticity slows down. This is why learning new technology, or new names, or new routines can feel much more challenging as we age. It's not intelligence loss. It's slower cognitive flexibility. When is memory loss not normal? Normal aging includes occasionally forgetting names, misplacing items, walking into a room and forgetting why, forgetting details but remembering the main story. Not normal. Forgetting familiar faces, getting lost in familiar places, repeating the same question every few minutes, struggling to follow simple instructions, major personality changes. These may indicate mild cognitive impairment or early dementia and should be evaluated by a doctor. How to protect your memory as you age. Science-based tips. The good news? Research shows the brain can grow new connections, even late in life. Here are proven habits that keep memory strong. 1. Move your body regularly. Walking 30 minutes daily increases blood flow to the brain and stimulates growth of new neural connections. 2. Prioritize quality sleep. Aim for consistent bedtime, dark, cool environment, avoiding screens before bed. Deep sleep equals stronger memory. 3. Challenge your brain. Learning new skills rewires the brain. Examples: drawing, puzzles, languages, cooking new recipes, playing instruments. Passive activities like TV don't count. 4. Stay socially connected. Conversation is one of the best workouts for your brain. It activates memory, attention, language, and emotional processing all at once. 5. Manage stress intentionally. Meditation, deep breathing, exercise, and meaningful hobbies lower cortisol and protect the hippocampus. 6. Eat a brain-friendly diet. The Mediterranean diet is proven to protect memory. Fish, nuts, olive oil, vegetables, berries, leafy greens, and drink water. Dehydration affects memory quickly. 7. Review medications with a doctor. Some drugs cause brain fog. Adjusting them can improve memory immediately. Memory decline with age is not a sign of failure, weakness, or disease. It's a natural, biological process shaped by brain structure, blood flow, hormones, sleep, stress, lifestyle. But here's the empowering truth. Your brain can stay sharp for decades if you take care of it. Aging changes memory, but it doesn't erase who you are. Your experiences, your wisdom, your stories, those remain with you. And with the right habits, your brain can continue learning, adapting, and growing at every age. So in the end, memory loss isn't a sign of losing your mind. It's simply how the brain changes as we age, and many parts of memory can still be improved. Take care of your brain, stay curious, and keep learning. Thanks for watching.